Is right now.
We are live.
I'm about to say something I haven't said in so long, and that's what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Deadhead Podcast, episode 64. I had to think for a second. Plus, there's a big 64 on the thumbnail. You jackass. How's it going, everyone? It's been a while, and it feels bittersweet to be here. I know Jan and I are excited, and I'm so unorganized. Hold on. I got myself talking in my ear for some reason. I had everything muted on my
All of a
end. I don't
sudden.
know. Yeah, sorry. I don't know if you guys had heard that or not. But yeah, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for coming back to a long awaited episode 64 of the Deadhead Podcast. Jan, how's it
Yeah.
going, buddy?
Well, it's good now. That's like the short of it. What happened in the meantime? It's been so long that I don't even know where to start. So, I got a haircut.
I see that. It looks good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, thank you. I don't plan on keeping it this short. It's mostly because what I've been trying to do, I is that I've been trying to change it in a sense that I didn't like that it was like even on both sides. So I asked my hairdresser to make it more, how do you say, like scaled.
Hmm.
And she said, okay, we can do that, but we got to make it real short because basically what she said is that she cut it in a way that it will grow in the shape that I want.
Right.
And
Oh
that was
yeah.
just, yeah, I got it. So, I don't mind too much, but I can't wait for it to actually grow to what I actually planned on it
Do you
being.
are you do you want it to eventually get as long as it was? Just maybe just tapered
Yeah,
off a bit, or
Yeah, pretty much, as long as before, but more stylish, right? With a bit more. Uh, I want it to look like a helmet, pretty much,
oh,
right?
gotcha.
I kind of looked like Darth Vader before, right? When his helmet goes. Yeah, it
Yeah.
always bothered me. So,
Well,
uh,
listen.
so
Hey, listen. We're our own worst critic, and I'm sure. I mean, I know I don't get to see you in person, but
hmm
I'm sure it didn't look nearly as bad as you thought it looked. You know what I mean? We usually are our
yeah,
worst critics, so you know what I mean.
you're right. No, you're
So
right. You're right. But still, I mean, I wanted to change. Uh, I wanted to do something new, something exciting.
that's right.
Yeah.
It's always exciting for something new. You look in the mirror and you feel different, and
Yeah.
you would think it's something as simple as your hair, but you do feel like every time I've ever get a haircut, when I look in the mirror, I feel like a completely different person. It's a clean slate, to go again. So that's
Oh,
cool, man.
definitely.
And it looks good. It looks good. I tried doing the long hair thing a few times. I mean, we've
hmm
been doing this show for a while now, so my hair has changed quite a bit
Yeah.
in the past few years. And every time I let it grow long, I like it for a little bit, but then it's just so much maintenance. And
Oh, I know.
I don't know, like I just hear, like, especially with as busy as I've been, it's just like I don't really want to think about hair as much. So I'll let like right now I got a hat on, but
Uh-huh.
the top of my hair is longer, but everything else is cut because I just,
hmm
that way I can style it some if I want to, but the rest of it is just shaved.
No, I mean, look, I get it. Back in when I was in high school, last years of high school, I had it like real long, and as you said, long hair requires a lot of maintenance, and I
Hmm.
did not know how to handle it. It
I
was
still don't,
terrible.
but
Yeah, it was super oily all the time because I didn't know
yeah,
how to clean it properly. It was terrible. Like
yeah.
if I could go back, I would slap myself
Well, it
because I
sucks,
don't.
man, because you look at all like the best characters out there in media, right? Like think about John
Uh-huh.
Wick, or you think about like a handsome celebrity like Brad Pitt or something like that, and they get their
hmm
long hair and it looks so good on them,
Keanu.
and then you try to, yeah, exactly, and you try to at least resemble them somewhat, and you fail. At least you feel
Yeah.
like you fail. So I
Yeah,
get
but
you.
I mean, I can imagine what kind of like hair routine those guys have. They
Oh
probably have
my
like
god,
five people
they gotta
like
be.
working on their hair every morning.
Dude, they gotta be. It doesn't make any, especially with Keanu Reeves, man, because he has a good head of hair, dude.
hmm
And like, if I don't know if you've seen any of the John Wick movies, but the way he's like just
Not
flipping
yet.
dudes over and moving around and stuff, it's like, dude, how's your hair look so good? It's not fair.
Well, I doubt it would, like if you actually were to do those stunts, but then again, he is Keanu Reeves, so
That's right.
uh
The man's like damn near perfect. So yeah.
pretty much. So I mean, I would like to say something more exciting, but I've been playing some Final Fantasy, finally going through my backlog, finally. So I started with one, all the way through 6, all the pixel remasters, and
Mm-hmm.
platinum each and every one of them, of course, because
Of
you know me,
course.
I'm just that kind of maniac. And since I already played 7 and 8, I'm now going through 9, and I'm telling you, dude, I'm loving it. This background, Lindblom from Final Fantasy 9, Final Fantasy 9 has like beautiful FMVs. How you might have seen some from Final Fantasy 7, and they look cool in the sense of, oh man, they achieved this much back then. Cool. This is actually cool. I feel like this aged really well. If you just look some of the FMV, some of the cutscenes from the game, they look great. I mean, they're a bit choppy. You have like a low frame rate, but that
Mm-hmm.
just kind of adds to the,
Yeah.
I don't know, it adds it just makes it characteristic. I really like it. The
Yeah.
story's great. The characters are super funny, and I'm loving the translation. So yeah, FF9, having a lot of fun.
Yeah. I've
Uh,
heard that one's a very like under
yeah,
appreciated one. Like I hear that
yeah,
that's a great. I've never played that one, so neither, and I haven't really played much of the 1 through 6 either. So I'm sure you can give me some insight on that as well. How is
yeah, sure.
random question? How is the trophy system with the original games like 1 through 6? How does that work
One
on
through
PlayStation?
six. Well, I mean,
Is
they've
there like a lot of
released.
trophies, or is it kind of like
It's
RE4 the original where it's like not that many trophies with it?
no, no. It's like a full set of trophies for each game.
Oh,
Each comes with a platinum, and I'm telling you, the first few ones, like 1 through 3, maybe even 4, are like super easy. You just gotta watch out for some like missable stuff
yeah,
because
right.
you gotta. So the main thing, they pretty much have the same trophy list, the first 6 games,
Hmm.
because they were released together. So I guess they didn't really want to bother with making a unique trophy list. And like the most difficult part is always encounter every single enemy to fill out the bestiary and open every single chest, which gets tricky because some areas you can't go back to once you've cleared them. So you
Hmm.
gotta just stick to a guide.
Right.
Besides that, I mean, again, super easy, especially because these modern ports, they have like a bunch of modifiers you can put. You can like make the game go super fast. You can auto battle. You can like quadruple the experience you obtain, quadruple the gil you obtain. So it's when it comes to difficulty, it's nothing.
Right.
But what about you? What have you been doing? What have you been playing?
So, yeah, I've actually had uh, a pretty, I've had a pretty open palette, man. When I've had time, I'm actually, I know that when we get personal on this show, we kind of go more on the shallow part of it. We don't dive deep into like
Mm-hmm.
real personal stuff. But um, I've actually just made a change with my work where I'll be getting at least 2 days off a week. So I'm really happy about that. So pretty much right now I'm doing like 1 day of play and then 1 day of work, or really it's more like half a day of play and then being being a father and a husband and then getting some stuff done because I've picked up some classes and stuff trying to just better my career field and
Dude,
do
how do
more.
you do it?
It's a lot. That's why I cut back on I'm not working my part-time anymore. Instead I actually came across a great opportunity through my current career, my current job that I'm at right now, where I can make quite a bit more money just working a little more overtime there as opposed to doing 2 jobs. So that's opened up a window for me to be able to be at home more and be a dad and husband and be a nerd and enjoy playing some games. So I've had a little bit more time off here and there. I'm starting the actual like extra work. I'm starting it like not this week, but next week. But yeah, I got a little bit more time. So I've actually had not a lot here, not still not a lot, but I've been able to dabble a bit more. So yeah, so with that being said, I've had quite a bit of a palette. I know me and Jan have talked privately for the past couple months, but just to let you guys know, I was playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 recently. That was the most recent game. I did put that down after like 20 or so hours. I see it. I see the potential. I definitely see it, but it's too slow and it, it's one of those games like here's how I described it to Jan, okay? And to anybody who's returning or anybody who's new, uh I'm not a huge fan of Souls games, but I appreciate it. I appreciate the hell out of these games because I think they're beautifully made. I think the level design is top notch. I think the enemy designs are top notch. I think the battles are highest tier. I just the grind is what always kills me. But I will say this. I'm saying this live because I know Jan already knows this. I I would play a Souls game before I go back to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And that's just a fact because I just enjoy. I would say I like the combat better. I like the level scaling better. I'll even prefer the grind over
Hmm.
Elder almost said Elder Scrolls, Elden Ring, Dark Souls, things like that over Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Everything is a process in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. What I mean by that is, and Jan, I'm sure you know a little bit, but if you don't, like, if you want to make your weapon better, you manually have to do it. Like, you actually are in a like blacksmith, whatever,
Hmm.
and you actually hammering away at your weapon. If you want to do this, it's really cool systems, and I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just for the amount of time that I have to play, you can see how this could be like. I did 3 separate missions where I'm picking up a sack of food and I'm taking it to the other side of town, and then go back and take another sack of food and take it back to the other side
Man,
of town. And by that third time, the first time I did it, I was like, oh, this is so realistic. Like
immersive.
how long, yeah, immersive, right? And like it's taking me. I'm actually having to grab the bags and take them over to where, like, I was actually like, I don't really see it as work. I think it's kind of cool. But by that third time, I'm like, okay, I'm tired of taking bags of food to whatever. Um, and
Have you
another thing
seen?
too, and another thing that was also throwing me off was, and I know that a lot of people don't. Maybe some people, I don't. Some people might not get really affected by me. I kind of, it takes me out of it when I'm using a sharp weapon, unless I'm playing like Final Fantasy or a fantasy driven game. Like I think me and Jan have talked about this several times on the show. Like one reason why we Final Fantasy and stuff works because it's a fantasy setting. I don't expect decapitations and things like that. But at the same time, when Kingdom Come Deliverance, we talk about realism, but yet like you're cutting fools up and like there's almost like no blood, like nobody, there's no limbs, there's no, and I get it, it's a huge game, it's a huge game, so like those types of details might be a few and far between, but that was also taking me out of it. Like every time I fight, I feel like I wouldn't really be doing any damage, you know. I'd like to
Like
see a little
Skyrim,
bit. Yeah,
where you just keep swinging and
but
all it
Skyrim has
does is just.
decapitations though. Like
Hmm.
after a
But
while,
only
you
as
know.
like a final move, right?
I guess that is true. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
right.
what I mean.
But anyway, but that's besides the point. There's a lot of games that do that. That's not like the deal breaker. I think the deal breaker for me was it's like you have to think about everything. Like let's say if I'm on the open road and I'm riding my horse, and let's say I run into some goons on the road, and let's
Hmm.
say I start hacking them away. I end up winning and I kill all of them. If one of them has like poison on their sword and they hit me with poison, like you're actually really fucked. Like unless you have like some kind of special herb or something, you're going to die in the street and you're going to lose 30, 45 minutes to an hour of progress. You're going to lose all that.
Man,
And that happened to me like twice. And I was like, all right, I'll deal with it. Like it's no problem. Like I'll deal with it. It's realism. Let me just deal with it. Right? The immersiveness of the world. But by that second or third time, I was like, man, I just don't have enough time to play this. You know what I mean? Like if I had more time, I think I could see myself playing it. But dude, I can't lose an hour worth of progress. Like I, I could, but I really don't want to because I don't have a lot of time. Like I don't mind losing, kick my ass, that's fine. But the fact of the matter is like I just don't have a lot of time to put in that kind of into those gameplay stuff. So I just kind of stopped playing it for a while. So I stopped doing that. That was as far as like new games. But I've talked to Jan. Like I finished Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the ending. Matter of fact, I would say the last 2 hours or 3 hours of the game, I was like hooked again. I got that love for
yeah,
Final Fantasy. Like, you know what I mean? With everything with
I'm
Zack
glad to
and
hear you say
Aerith,
that. Yeah.
Sephiroth was nasty. I was telling Jan, Sephiroth is badass as hell from the their performances, the voice from the voices to his presence, the music, and then the fight with him. I love the fight when it's just him. Like I don't care about the bigger part, like the phase of him being like a bigger. You know how a lot of RPGs do that.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, the big
yeah,
alien
but when you
that
fight
is
him, when you
that is
fight
also his
him,
mom.
right? Yeah, right, yeah. But when you fight him, just as he is, like it was a super fun boss fight. I really had a lot of fun with it. So I've been wanting to talk to you about that for seems like months now.
Oh
But
man, you don't even know. I've
but
been wanting to talk to you about that like since a year ago when I finished it.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry it took so long, and I mean
Nah,
to
it's fine.
to everybody else. I mean, I know I'm kind of late to the party, but it really did. The game really like I don't know. I just got burnt out. The game really burnt me out with
Hmm.
all the shit that was going on in the open sections of the game. But I really enjoyed my time with it, and I miss it. I miss going back and playing it. So I've been trying to find other things to get my interest. I started playing Avowed on Xbox. I saw that was on Game Pass. I was like, let me check it out. Sucks.
Oh man. That was such a bummer when I heard you say that because the cover art looks cool as heck.
Oh, dude, it's awesome. It's
Like the
awesome.
skeleton with all the yeah.
Yeah, but it's shallow. It's very very shallow.
Mm.
And I found out through matter of fact, I can't stand this guy because I feel like he likes to hear himself talk, but I don't know the guy personally, so he might be an alright guy. But
What's the name?
Luke Stevens,
Oh yes, yes.
he's got way dude, he's very successful. Hats off to him. I really have no issue with him, but I will say he likes to hear himself talk a lot. Like he'll just sit there and talk for like 45 minutes. But
That's all of his videos, yeah.
yeah, right. One of the things
Hmm.
that he mentions in like one of his videos is that apparently Avowed started off as a live service game, and they
Ooh.
ended up like making changes like later, like way late into development, and you can kind of feel that because
Hmm.
the NPCs are lifeless. They don't react to you doing like magic or like anything in the
Hmm.
any of the towns. I know this doesn't like matter too much to probably like us because I don't kill too many animals and random NPCs that often. But I will say this: you can't kill a random NPC. You can't kill any animals in the open world. It's like it just feels very like not very a lot, which is not open. It's more open areas, but it just feels very like not alive. And the thing that's really the thing that's really disappointing about it is I know you say you're not super into like Obsidian games as much, like Outer Worlds or anything, but in Outer Worlds, it felt like super alive. Each planet
Hmm.
you went to, it just felt like there was real inhabitants there, and they were actually doing something. Is I don't get that with Avowed, and I was really disappointed with that. Because I like the fantasy stuff. Like I love that. You know
Hmm.
me, I'm a sucker for that. But it just just very disappointing. So I know you don't. I'm probably sure you don't have much to
Bummer.
say about that, but yeah, I was really hoping that was going to be better.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm always looking for new experiences, and I guess this ain't the one because a lot of people have been talking really good about Outer Worlds and other
Yeah, it's
similar
great.
games. So
Yeah,
yeah.
Outer Worlds is it's like if you ever played like Fallout 3 or Fallout New Vegas, anything like that,
Okay.
it has that same type of feel. Like it just
Okay.
it's the game feels open enough, but it's like it's still very more like it's more linear, but open enough that like everything feels like even you do the smallest of side quests, it feels like you're actually making a meaningful thing happen. You'll actually
Hmm.
see the results of whatever decisions you make. And I feel like the side characters are way more alive and you actually really care about the people that are with you. I played Avowed for 8 hours and I got my first companion. And I like the voice actor. He plays in Mass Effect. I can't remember what the character's name is, but I really like the character, but I just didn't really care. So anyway, moving on from that, the last thing I really have been playing, I've been getting into Doom Eternal a lot.
Oh, motherfucking
Um,
Doom.
yeah, motherfucking Doom, exactly. Uh, so I never finished Doom Eternal. I never finished it on when I had because I bought it on Xbox years ago. I think in 2020 actually, which feels like it's been like 10 years now. I got
Well,
like not even
half that.
right, right. It's not even. I didn't even get almost halfway through it before I just completely just walked away from the game. And the reason why Doom, and I'm sure I've talked about this on the show, it was giving me really bad motion sickness, like when I'm playing it, because
Oh.
it's very high, like you're moving super fast, like, and you got like 50 or 60 enemies at you, and you're having to hop from area to area and things like that. So I downloaded again to get ready for Doom: The Dark Ages, because what I've seen from Doom: The Dark Ages, it looks magnificent. It looks dark. It looks
Hmm.
gritty. For me, it's right up my alley. And I was like, I was even on the fence about pre-ordering it, and I said, screw it. I pre-ordered it. But I've been
Oh
playing that.
man.
I went through that, and I just beat I guess the first like real boss of the game, and it has two phases, and like the first phase was not too bad, but then the second phase you had two of that same archetype that you're fighting at the same time,
Okay.
and it's very high octane action. And I'm addicted to it, man. But I have to kind of get off of it after a while because I'll sit there and freaking let my brain rot for 2 or 3 hours just killing demons. But it's a blast, and it's way more technical than I remembered. You know, like you would think you're
Hmm.
just going around just gunning demons out, what you are, but you have to switch your loadouts. You got to change your guns. You have to like keep moving. You can't stay in one spot because you'll die. Like you'll get overwhelmed real quick. And
Right, right, right.
I'm having a blast with it. So that's what I've been playing so far. I know that's kind of long winded, but I've been switching. I've been pretty frequent on my switches. So I'm gonna stick with Doom. I bought the base game and the two DLCs for like $24 on PlayStation. I said, "F it." That's what I'm playing for a little while. So there's that.
Well, I mean, for your schedule, I mean, that works the most, right? Because it's easy to pick up and put down after an hour or two. Right?
Well, I mean,
It's
kind
not.
of. All right, as far as like how the controls work, yes, but the thing is, like, Doom Eternal is actually very very has a lot of gameplay systems. There's a lot, and
Oh.
you have to use everything. Like, you can't just go around with a shotgun. You can do it a little bit, but you can't really go around with your they call it the super shotgun, which is pretty much just a double barreled shotgun, but it's like significant to the series. You can go
Mm-hmm.
around and use that a little bit, but it's like if you use just that, you're gonna get swarmed real quick. So you got ice grenades, you got fire, you have to there's like this like fire pulse thing that you can shoot off of your shoulder, and what it does is that when you hit your enemies, it throws shield fragments at you to put on yourself. That way you have like protection, and if you kill the enemy, it gives you even more like shield upgrades and stuff. Like
Oh, okay.
it's a little bit more to it. Like I
But
was
that sounds
surprised.
fun. That sounds like,
Yeah, it's
yeah,
balls to the
okay, because
wall.
you gotta plan ahead. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice.
balls to the wall. So
Nice.
that's what I've been playing, man, and I think I'm gonna stick with it for a little while, and hopefully see it through so I can get ready for Doom: The Dark Ages. But
When is that coming out?
in May, I think May's gonna
Oh,
be a
that's
crazy
soon.
month, dude.
Yeah, right? I mean, everything is coming out this in May.
Yeah,
Look.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that was actually, matter of fact, it's funny that before the show started, I actually pulled up the tab for the state of play because there's been a few things announced for that, and I know we've
Yeah.
pre-ordered some stuff, so we'll talk about that. And I'll shut my mouth because I've switched from a different bunch of different games, so I've just been rolling. So yeah, so I think that's what we've been playing, man. It's been I've had a very very diverse palette, and I'm pretty excited about what's to come. So uh trying to think if there's anything else we need to catch up on, man. I guess one thing I'll say is before we get into like games we're looking forward to and things like that for the year and stuff for the show and everything. I just want to say thank you guys for checking out the Deadhead Podcast, episode 64, and if you wouldn't mind following us everywhere so we can. You guys can click the bell and you'll be notified of when we do our next show and all that stuff. I know I forgot to say that before, so it's just because we haven't done this in so long and it feels so weird
A
to be
bit
sitting
rusty.
here. So, but anyway, with that being said, man, 2025, dude, it's looking to be a crazy year for games. I'm gonna let you have the floor because I feel like I've been talking forever. Uh, what are some just even if it's not on the state of play, like what are
Mm-hmm,
some
mm-hmm,
things you're looking
mm-hmm.
forward to talk about on the show and play in general? What are some that you looking forward to?
Looking forward to. Well, the first one is coming out next month. It is a game that actually you kind of talked me into pre-ordering, and that's the first Berserker
Hmm.
Kazan. Which, by the way, I keep thinking it's called. Sorry about the background noise.
That's
My
all right.
parents' place. So I keep remembering it as Kuzan, which is like a character from an anime or something. And every time when I would go to pre-order it, I would like type in Kuzan, and nobody would have it. I'm like, what? Don't you have Kuzan? Come on, guys.
Hmm.
When it's actually Kazan. Um, but not much to say about that one because I actually don't know too much about it.
Hmm.
Unlike you, I haven't played the demo. I only watched like the cinematic trailers. So I just know that it's like good old action,
Hmm.
an action game, and that's all I really need.
Have you
It
seen
has,
Have you seen any gameplay for it? Or have you just watched reveals?
yeah, no, I know there was like a gameplay showcase. I didn't really watch a lot of it. I just wanted to get the general feel of it. Because, my philosophy is, since I pre-order it, since I'm sure that I'm going to play it, I don't need to be sold
Right.
in it.
I understand.
At that point would just be spoiling myself.
Hmm.
So that's one. I'm actually looking at my I made like a huge purchase of like pre-orders recently. So I'm
I
just
did.
looking at that,
Yeah, I did too.
uh, including Goat Simulator Remastered.
What'd you
I don't
say?
know if you know Goat Simulator
Oh my
Remastered.
God. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I need to have that. I didn't even know that came out physical. It's come to a point that games like that don't even like get a physical release. So as soon as I see it, I go, just like
Okay, fair enough.
Uh, if you follow me on Instagram, you can see all my obscure, well, not obscure, but like more niche games that I
Yeah,
get physically. I also, Claire Obscure, Expedition 33. That one
dude.
also, I mean, what to say? The concept is just
Dude.
so interesting.
Dude, it so is. Yeah.
And then, I mean, it's such a game that like you wouldn't think they would make a game like this. It's a turn-based action RPG, but it has a very realistic art style. And it's Western. It's not even like usually when you see like a turn-based game, it's probably coming from like Japan, right?
Hmm.
But no, this one isn't, and I'm like, okay, show me what you got.
Dude, very
I'm
impressed. I'm so impressed
yes,
by it, man.
I'm intrigued. I'm
I'm
very
excited.
intrigued.
Very excited, dude. I hope it delivers because yeah, I mean it looks different, man. It just looks different. Like to turn-based combat, yeah, we've had that, but it just looks like they're trying to it looks ambitious. Just looks different and I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, I'm so glad turn-based combat is coming back because I remember in the 2000s, gamers were kind of getting tired of that, and that's when I was growing up. I grew up with people thinking that turn-based combat was like an outdated combat system in games.
Yeah.
People were shitting on. I remember I got a demo discs.
Hmm.
I got a demo disc that had for the PlayStation 2 that got Final Fantasy X like on it, like a demo for that, and I was playing a bit of it, and my friends like behind me, they're like saying, "Man, this game sucks ass." because because of the turn-based combat. It was
Yeah.
like an early section, so you could really only like attack and defend.
Oh yeah.
So but I'm glad it's coming back, slowly.
Hmm.
Persona was kind of the first big one, but then we got the Return of Dragon Quest.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I think that some people.
mhm.
I actually I follow a guy that I watch pretty regularly. His gaming takes are like not. I don't always agree with him, but he was talking about turn-based combat, and he said and he hates it. He's like poor. He
Mhm.
said it's a lame gameplay feature. He said the reason he feels like turn-based was even a thing because of limitations of hardware is what he said. I
Mhm.
mean, obviously I don't agree with that, but what would you think of that observation?
Oh, well, okay, it might have been, but I can't agree with it because if you think about it, role-playing games, they started even like the Japanese ones. They were inspired by Western tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
And if you think about it, those are turn-based, right? You each take turns, you roll the die, should I say, and basically the turn-based combat is the most faithful transposition of that kind of all those gameplay mechanics. So no, I would not agree with that. I don't think that like full on like active time battles are sort of evolution of turn-based combat. I cannot agree with that
Right. Yeah.
because I mean you lose so much stuff. You gain a lot, but you also lose a lot. I feel like
Hmm.
like with a more action-oriented game. Just look at FF16. Look at Kingdom Hearts. I feel like Kingdom Hearts is one of those games that was really a bridge between turn-based and full-time like action RPG, right? Because you still have like a little command bar, a command menu with religious commands, but they were in real time.
Hmm.
And you obviously, I mean, when you have it in real time, you cannot strategize. You can't think of every move you make in advance. And so, of course, the command bar was much simple. All you could do is attack, use magic, and use items or summons, but those were like a sub. menu for like Magic, right? Well, even like even older, like think of FX6, which came out like what 5 to 6 years ago. Kingdom Hearts. Even before that, that game had like crap ton of mechanics. You could like learn enemy skills. You had black magic, white magic, blue magic. You had a mechanic of a guy that started spinning like a roulette wheel, and based on the outcome, you get like a different attack. I mean, and those things are just not, you cannot reproduce them faithfully
Mhm.
if you're going for an action RPG. So no, I mean, I respect that guy's take, but I also kind of don't,
Right.
because it's bonkers.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, this is also coming from a guy. I mean, like, again, it's I really respect the guy. He's a good. He doesn't put a lot of videos out. I think he's more of a it's more smaller time, but I think he's just more into, in my opinion, and it's something that I'm also struggling with it as well. And it's like when I agree with some of his takes, I also take a step back because I'm also like, well, like, yeah, do I like a more like in your face, like for instance, like I like a more like cinematic experience when I play games. I just enjoy it. I
Hmm.
enjoy being able to, like, we talk about Last of Us, God of War, things like that. Like, I do like when there's times just cutscenes and then I can play for a
Hmm.
little while and then cutscene. Like, I like it when the story's in the face, but at the same time, like, I play a game like Doom Eternal, and you think Doom Eternal is just balls to the wall, blood and guts, and it is, but it's actually got a lot more lore than I could have ever imagined. Like, I was actually
Hmm.
at work, like right after I started Eternal for the first time. I went to work and I started looking up lore about, the Doom guy. Who is he? I started looking at like Mars in the game, like all that stuff, the different demons, the different people that are involved with why the demonic presence is even on Earth. And I really started going down this rabbit hole, and it's actually got a lot more story, but you just have to read the files. You'll find files throughout every level, and it does tell you more of a story. It's kind of like with Dark Souls and things like that. Like,
Hmm.
story's not in your face, but if you sit there and actually took the time and read, there actually is a story there. But some people are like, I don't want to read. That's not. I want it more in my face, and I'm back and forth on it. Sometimes I wouldn't mind it being told to me directly, but other times it's like it's kind of cool. It's got more of a lore than you would think unless you just didn't read anything.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's different games for different tastes, right? I mean, I would hate for all games to be homogenized, with that we all agree that uh one game design philosophy is better than all the rest, and we just make all the games like that. It's good to vary.
Hmm.
And besides that, what you just said about Doom Eternal, that's like very old schooly. You think about that, even like all like RPGs, we supposedly would have like a lot of story. You don't find it in the game. You find it like what in the manual,
Hmm.
and that's a technical limitation. Now, because you can't have all the text in the game, you have to read the freaking manual, which at this point to get those manuals, you gotta like spend like what hundreds of bucks on eBay.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Yeah. No. I think I'm definitely excited for the Expedition 33. I think
yes.
it's got the turn base, and it looks innovative with that too. I think I talked about it when we had Russ on the show, and we were talking about it. We didn't know much about it, but just what off we saw off the gameplay and some of the trailers, we saw that the little snippets of combat that we saw, it's kind of has like damage multipliers. So, like, if you're in combat and you hit attack, and let's say you land a critical hit, you can hit like A or X, whatever you're playing on, whatever platform you're playing on, and you can land another attack. Kind of reminds me of Persona in
Hmm.
that way, like where Persona kind of like sometimes you'll be able to attack and then be able to attack again depending on, like,
Hmm.
the critical hits. It looks like it's taken a little bit from a couple different RPGs, and I'm fine with it, man, because the world just looks
Of course.
super interesting. And dude, like the American cast is nuts. I can't believe like the budget for this game has to be crazy. Have you seen
And it
it?
doesn't.
Have you seen
I
the cast at all? Like, who all is in the game?
I have not seen the cast. Who's in the game?
So the main talking point is Daredevil, the Charlie Cox from the MCU
Oh,
Daredevil. He's like one of the main characters, I believe. Let
oh,
me make sure
cool. Okay.
make sure I'm not talking out of my ass here. I'm pretty sure he's like the main character. Let me make sure I'm looking at that right. Yeah, so yeah, Charlie Cox is in the game. Ben Starr, he plays Clive Rossfield in Final Fantasy 16.
Oh, okay, that guy. All right.
Let's see. Yeah, Charlie Cox. He plays a character called Gustav, and I feel like there's another character. Oh, Andy Serkis is in the game. Who
Who's
plays?
that?
He plays? You've seen Lord of the Rings, right?
Of course.
Uh, I'm. What's the? I can't remember what his name is.
Help me, give me a hint. Uh,
My precious.
oh, Gollum.
Yeah,
Gollum.
yeah.
Mm.
So Andy Serkis, he's been a
Ooh, okay. We got
yeah,
Gollum. Nice.
yeah. And I feel like there's one other person I saw, but I mean, it's got to for the
All-star
cast.
cast.
Yeah,
And this game is like the price is below average, right? I think it's
yeah,
if we
yeah.
just
It's like 50 or 60. I'm paying 70 though because I want the special edition.
damn it, I couldn't find it. Like it was sold out everywhere I looked. Damn it, I had to settle for like the standard.
I had to get the
Because you get
steelbook for that one.
yeah, if for me it would have been less about the steelbook and more about this like little journal. You get like a booklet, 48 pages,
Hmm.
hardcover. Like oh man,
Yeah, when I get it, we'll
oh,
definitely take some time and take a little closer look at it. But I mean, obviously,
I can't wait.
the main attraction is the game, dude. I can't.
Of
That's a
course,
really
of course.
exciting one, and it'll be a good switch up to what I've been playing lately. So I think that comes out in April, right?
That comes out. I'll tell you in a second. 24th of April.
Good deal. Okay, awesome.
Hmm.
That'll be a good time too because then I can go batshit crazy and doom the Dark Ages like a few weeks after
Hmm.
that. So it'd be a good little change of pace, you know. So,
Nice.
but yeah, no, that looks great. What are some other ones?
Well, I mean, this one is more of for me, but I think I could convince you to play it with me, and that is Elden Ring Night Rain,
Ooh, I heard that's trash
which
right now. I'm not hearing good things about that.
uh, are you not? I'm hearing mixed things. I think some people are saying that it's the worst thing ever, and some people are saying, okay, this is like Elden Ring, but like fun to play with your friends. Well, fun as in Elden Ring is usually a very slow game, like it's still like a Souls-esque RPG.
Hmm.
What have you heard? Now you piqued my interest.
So, I heard from a few people on. This is all Twitter now, so you got to take it with a grain of
Okay.
salt. But the people
Yeah,
who've
all
gotten their
right.
hands on it, who've had the tech demos and stuff, they said that it seems like it's a bit more monetized. Um,
Oh, yes, that
I've
actually
heard that.
concerns me as well. Yeah.
I've also heard that the bosses are not super original. Like you run
The
into kind of
bosses are all from other Souls games.
as it,
But okay, no, I completely understand that criticism. I just and I honestly, but I just don't care honestly because what I see is Fortnite, but it's not, but instead of so you have like a big map which shrinks more and more and more, but instead of gunning each other down, you fight together through, legendary Dark Souls bosses who made history. I don't see how that's not fun. Like I understand why people might call it lazy, they're recycling assets and all that. I think like people are calling it a mod, and I'm saying, dude, for the price they're asking, I'm cool with it.
hmm.
It's like $40. Like I'm cool with it. The monetization thing does concern me because right from the start you can only get some classes if you buy like the deluxe
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
premium whatever.
I heard about
That
that. Yeah.
stinks. That stinks. But again, going back to what I was going to say, like if we both decide to grab it, we could like play together. If we find like a third person, I could already have one in mind because party of three is like the standard from what I understand.
Hmm.
The three of us could have like cute little adventures, and it could be like a little YouTube series of ours. Just saying, I'm just putting it in there.
Yeah, I hear you. I
Mm.
mean, again, I mean, honestly, that would be like the only way that I probably,
It
because
doesn't
like
sound fun.
honestly, when you describe it like that, it actually does sound fun. Like the Fortnite, but in the Elden Ring universe, and
Mm-hmm.
the map getting smaller, and then and instead of fighting each other, you fight your way out. Like I like that. Does sound pretty
Right?
cool.
You can like trade cool equipment you find.
Yeah.
You help each other out. I don't know. I think it's
Yeah, I think the thing is, people, you know as well as anybody. I know you're a Souls fan, but I don't know if you're like super diehard like some of these people are. But like, but I think the whole fun of like those games is like the discovery, the sense of discovery, the hidden bosses, the hidden dungeons, and I think what they're trying to do is they're trying to what From Software is trying to do. They're trying to bank on what's popular. They're trying to bank
Mm-hmm.
on like multiplayer and monetization. They are look. Let's just be honest. They're slow
Oh,
monetization, and
100%.
then also with the like you just said, like the weapons and stuff. I'm not saying there's not dungeons and secret things you can find, but let's be honest. It's not going to be as hard to find halfway decent gear in this game because I feel like they're trying to bring a little bit more of a audience to it. In my opinion, I could be completely wrong, but that's just how I see it.
No, I mean I've seen some footage. I mean the footage they shown, uh, and I've heard some people talk about how the game works. Basically, it's very streamlined. It's pretty much as you say. It's not, figuring out how to get out of a dungeon for 2 hours to get like a weapon you would never use. When you open a chest, you have like multiple weapons coming out. They're like classified, in rarity. Again, Fortnite, and but I'll repeat what I said. I just think it just looks so fun. If you play with friends, it might kind of say it's not a traditional Souls experience by no stretch of the imagination. And maybe if I were playing it by myself, I might not even I might not even buy it. But the idea of playing with two friends, just fooling around, it's randomly generated, the map, supposedly. So every time
Uh,
you get like a different, yeah. And I think you can just do a lot of fun stuff. You don't have to. You can be bunched together, right? And just watch each other's backs, or you could spread out while the map is still big. One guy checks the area, then one guy checks that other area, then we all regroup, see what we found. Maybe one guy's like in a tough spot, so you gotta like dash to go and save him. He shows you where he is on the map. It doesn't sound fun. It just straight up fun. I don't know how else to describe it. It's
right.
not that deep. I realize it's not deep, and I'm not expecting this to be the next step of like of From Software's excellent game design. I'm not saying anything like that, and I do say like if the monetization gets coming, I'm backing up.
Right.
But what they're showing here is just like, all right, let me, yeah, let me try it. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. No,
so yeah,
that's fair. No, yeah, I think that's fair. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
mm-hmm,
I mean, I've pre-ordered a lot of games, so
mm-hmm,
Elden Ring is kind of
not our purity.
it's not, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's fine.
But definitely when it comes down in price, I mean, yeah, I would, that's probably the only time I'd want to play it. Is probably, if you want to play with me, and if you had a third or I had a third or whatever, because I think that could be a lot of fun. So that's definitely
Sure.
that's definitely on the table. Then it's like I've talked to Jan about outside of the show, like then it comes down to how do we get it to work? How do we get the record? Which the recording would be probably be a little bit easier, but I would probably have
Yeah,
to maybe like thinking about it on face value. I feel like I might would have to get it on PC and run it off OBX.
ooh,
But anyway, that's a whole other topic conversation. I was just trying to think like how I could make that work, but either way,
we'll
we'll
get to the
make
bridge. Yeah, when we
yeah,
cross it, or however.
yeah. So, but yeah, no, I think as far as like what I've seen, it doesn't look bad. It looks like what I'm used to seeing. But people who are really
Mm-hmm.
into those types of games, they're going to see differences I'm not going to. And from a classic Souls experience, I can understand it. But everything you just said makes 100% sense. Makes 100% to me. 100% sense to me. And I think it's worth checking out. So definitely for me when it comes down to price, yeah, why not? I got
Hell
Elden
yeah.
Ring, I got Demon Souls. I haven't finished them, but I really like the games and I really want to get into them. That's why I buy them. I want to
Well,
support them. I do.
maybe this is like the stepping stone you're missing, right?
Yeah, right. Even if I am
Right.
even if I am decent at what's it called, Night Rain? Is that what it's called?
Night
Elden.
Rain, yeah.
Even if I am decent at that, it doesn't. It's not going to translate to Elden
Well,
Ring.
no, that's true. No, that's true.
But like I said, I would prefer to put a lot of time into that than Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. And that's, I mean, but I just feel like I would rather do that grind than all the slow shit you got to do in Kingdom Come. But anyway, but yeah, I agree. That looks good. What
Cool.
else you got? Or if you got any other thoughts on that?
No, I mean that's pretty much it. That's all. I mean, until I play the game, I can't really say much.
Yeah,
I'm not really a preview kind of guy. I'm a hands-on kind of guy,
I hear you.
Um, Then we got, Lost Soul Aside, which is
Hmm.
finally coming out. Like for years, I thought this game was like, like some kind of utopic
Yeah,
project that is never gonna realize. But no, it's right here before me.
I
Like
forgot about it. I forgot all about it.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it just kind of pops out of existence here and there. People remind you that it exists. It's
Hmm.
crazy that it actually has a release date.
Hmm.
Um, you know what? From the last trailer I saw, the story it's very anime-esque, from what I can tell. But and that kind of turned me off. As someone who has consumed a lot of that kind of media, I just that part like it's not it didn't turn me off, but it's not what I'm pre-ordering the game for. I'm pre-ordering it for that sick combat.
Hmm.
That combat looks, woo boy. I can't wait to see what it feels like to actually, see it react to the buttons I touch. Uh, so yeah,
That's one way.
what about you?
That's a one way to put it. Yeah, it looks very very good. I like I said, I had forgot all about it. That's why I hadn't talked about it because I know there was some talk. You know, there was talks about it, and then we did see a reveal at one point, but then it was just still up in the air and nothing else about it. And out of nowhere, it's coming out in I think May. So
30th, yeah.
May 30th. So it's, at the end. But I mean, still though, I mean, May is going to be stacked, just like we said before. It reminds me a lot of this might be a bad comparison just based off what I'm seeing.
Okay.
It looks like Final Fantasy 15, but like way better. It
Yeah,
looks like
but with actual combat, yeah.
yeah, with actual yeah, yeah. I went back just to get off of that for a second. I actually went back to Final Fantasy 15 like for
Oh.
briefly before I started Doom Eternal again because I was like, I'm in a Final Fantasy mood and I don't know if I want to start completely over with one. So I was like, let me get back into 15 on Xbox because my playthrough on that is still fairly like in the beginning. So I'm like, I could
Hmm.
probably dabble around on that. And there's some fun to be had. But man, I will say, dude, that combat kind of overstays its welcome after a while. Like there was a part where like it's at nighttime and I'm fighting
Hmm.
these two you're in the Final Fantasy right now, like Major, so you might know the names of these uh beasts, but they kind of look like big goo, like they look like beasts made out of goo. I can't remember what they're called, but they're like in
Like the
every
clans.
yeah, yeah, that's it. There was
Uh,
like two of those, and they were like a few levels higher than what I was currently. I
okay.
think my group was like at level 16, like we're 16, 17, and I think the Flan was sitting at like maybe like 23 or 24. So like they weren't like
Okay.
crazy higher, but
But I mean,
dude, I was fighting those guys. I swear I fought those guys for like 10 minutes because I was just like
damn.
hacking away at their health. And it's like, it was barely going down. And like, they're super resistant to physical attacks. So like, I'm trying to hit them with more magic. And I guess where I'm at in the game, like, I don't have a lot of magic right now. So I'm just hitting
The
them with
game.
like lightning and stuff.
Yeah.
And like, it's not really doing much. And it's probably mostly on my end because they're not super leveled up to the point where the Flan's at. But I was like, dude, this combat gets so old and it's so slow too. It feels slow. Unless I use the sword, everything else just feels slow. Like the big buster type weapon is slow.
Hmm.
The staff, I feel like it sucks. So I don't know. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but it just
I
seemed
mean,
like it was a bit slow, you know?
yeah, yeah. See, my only problem with that is that okay, if I'm stepping into, finding an enemy that's too strong for me, right? Yeah, if I'm making, too large of a step, so to speak, kick my ass, right? That's what I asked for a game to do. All right, you can't keep that from me until I'm a higher level. Just kick my ass. Don't do what you experience, which is, make the bad fight into a slog. That's my problem with the game. That it's not. It's so easy that it never really truly ends. Like getting a game over is so hard
It
that
is, yeah.
rather than the battle ending, you just get to fight for like what 15 minutes.
Dude, it was long.
Yeah,
Like the thing is, it was so long that my wife was watching me play it, and the battle music kept playing over and over again. She started humming it, like she was just like,
oh man.
like I'm sorry, it should, yeah, dude, exactly. I got this shit ingrained because I sat on that battle for like at least 10 or 15 minutes. And like, yeah, like you say, I'd rather just get clapped. I'd rather just die right
Hmm.
away and be like, okay, can't fight them. All right. But guess what?
Exactly. Yeah.
I did end up beating them, and it's not because I
Oh,
was
wow.
any good. It was just I persisted.
Perseverance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I got a shit ton of like experience for that. Like I think I
Well,
went
at
up like
least there's
7.
that. Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry to get off of that. I just knocked my freaking cover off my Apple
Oh
Watch.
man.
Oh shit.
Oh man.
Anyway,
That's bad.
that's all right. I'll find it later. But yeah, it's like so that's what I compare Lost Soul Aside to. But I think Lost Soul Aside is going to have, as anime as it is, I think it'll have a
Hmm.
way better narrative. The combat already looks a million times better. And then I found out too, like the creators of the game, or the creative director, he said that he's really into Final Fantasy. Like he loves Final Fantasy. So this
Hmm.
is definitely going to have
Hmm.
a Final Fantasy edge to it. But I hope it's all in the right ways and not in like in the modernized,
Yeah.
not so good ways that we get nowadays. I love 16. Like I've grown to love that.
I.
I love that game, and Rebirth is a good game. Now that I've definitely
Hmm.
finished it, like I could say that
You can
officially.
say it.
But let's be honest, there's some shit about both of those games. It's like, all right, I'd rather not have it. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, no, definitely. You know what I'm gonna tell you though? And actually, I've been thinking about it. Now that I'm playing like the older games, and obviously I play the newer ones too.
Right.
You know what you can't shit on Final Fantasy for?
What's that?
You can shit on for their creativity.
Hmm.
Because if you think about ever since like 10, every new game has a completely different combat system.
Yeah.
Uh, and they're just trying out what, new things. And I feel like the only thing that makes them a bit faulty is that, of course, since they're brand new systems, they don't get a lot of time to optimize it. I feel like if we got just like one more game like a 15, right? Like a 15-2, let's say. Or if
Hmm.
16 had the same comp like 15, they could work a bit on it, polish it, and they could make it work. Same thing for all the combat systems that of the modern Fantasy games that are kind of frowned upon, like the 12 or 13. I feel
Hmm.
like those are great at heart. You just gotta, smooth out some edges.
Yeah.
15 too, I believe. No, okay, as much as I shit on 15, I see the vision. I definitely. So from I just wanted to say that,
Yeah.
and stop the hate on
No,
modern Final
that's a
Fantasy
no, that's a
games.
great no, that dude, no, that's a great point. I mean, when you think about it, like from a standpoint of like, yeah, I mean, because every game they try to outdo the next with the well, not outdo it, but try
Hmm.
to do something different, and they don't really give it a lot of time. Like they really don't, and you do have to switch it up because as much as we love the Final
Hmm.
Fantasy VII remake trilogy or duology right
Hmm.
now, combat, like we wouldn't want that for every Final Fantasy entry. We'd want something
Exactly.
different. So we can't really complain when they do something different, you know?
But you know what absolutely stinks is that I feel like some people would like that. I feel like in the modern gaming landscape, people are just sticking to what works. And, it just they completely get pale at the idea of trying out something new. That's why you have like so many games. Is just they have like a cookie cutter formula, like like the live service formula or the first person shooter the open world formula. Let's not get started on that.
Yeah.
So for these guys to actually take risks, I mean, I gotta respect that.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to.
Hmm.
I mean, the only thing I will say is I think because of that, and I'm surprised you never mentioned this, even though I think Rebirth is probably better in this sense. I do feel like the stories, as much as I like Final Fantasy 16, I like the stories within 16 better than the overarching story. You know what I mean? Because
No,
it just feels the same. It just you got this godlike character and you got to kill him. I mean, it's pretty much it. You know what I mean? Like it's
you're saying that they're all very similar. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, yeah. Like a lot of them have that same like let's go kill a god thing, and I feel like they've
Oh,
all kind of done that. You know?
yeah, they'll escalate there. You know what I'm gonna tell you? Now that I play like most Final Fantasy games, I feel like with most of them, I do agree that usually the third act is the one that's the most boring. Usually, like the beginning act is the most interesting,
Hmm.
because they have really great presentation, they have a really great concepts, uh, and they're overall really interesting. But as you say in the final act, it always goes there. There's always like a godlike, omnipotent being, and everyone else bands together to just kill him.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, yeah. With 12, I don't know if have you ever played 12?
I did, yeah, a long time
Yeah,
ago. I need to go back
that,
and play it.
but that one is like ridiculous because the whole game is almost Game of Thrones-esque because it has so much political intrigue, right?
Yeah.
There's so many things you have to keep, and it's really, I believe, done really well until the third act. Well, all of this, like the war, the Revolutionary Army, all of this, political tension gets resolved by beating a guy who has like godlike powers somehow. I'm not sure how that works,
Hmm.
but no, I agree with what you said. Yeah, I feel like they gotta work on that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm gonna tell you? I like Final Fantasy VII though. The ending. I know you. I don't think you know how it ends. But
Uh,
what I'm gonna tell you is that it's different, and I don't want to spoil it for you, so I can't say much. But it's just I just like it better. I can't say much without
yeah.
spoiling it.
Well,
But some games, at eight
yeah,
too, were
yeah. I mean,
added.
yeah. that's another one I hear is
Mm-hmm.
actually I got all of these on PSN. I just haven't really
Mm-hmm.
touched them. I just buy them when they're on sale. But yeah, like I no, I've heard the same thing. I don't know the full on like narrative. I know bits and pieces. I don't know how Final Fantasy VII ends as far as the original. And then I know with the remake they're doing something completely different with that. But yeah, like I don't know, like I think as far as Sephiroth goes, I think it works with Sephiroth because I've seen Sephiroth in so much media besides Final Fantasy, and then
Yeah.
like when you start hearing like that his theme play, and the
Oro,
only thing I
oro,
will
oro.
say is I am a little like, and I know we were just talking about Lost Soul aside, so I'm not trying to take away too much, but to go back to Rebirth for a second, the one thing that frustrates me about the story more than anything is that I've beaten Sephiroth's ass like 3 times, and
uh,
somehow he gets away. And then Cloud says the same shit. What do you think Cloud says?
I don't remember. What does he say?
We got to go find Sephiroth at the end of every
Yeah.
time, dude. I'm so
Well,
sick of hearing that shit.
you know, I'm gonna tell you, but yeah, that's the remake trilogy's fault. And I think we talked about it even before Rebirth came out. I remember telling you this. I was like, man, I can't wait for Rebirth. I just hope we don't fight Sephiroth as a final boss again,
Right.
because it's already stupid that you fight him in remake. At the end, let's be honest. I mean, Sephiroth should be the big bad. He's the final boss, right? And I don't mind like if they changed it in a way that they spar a few times, right? Maybe at the beginning just to show them how strong Sephiroth is,
Yeah.
and then kicking your ass. That's one thing. But having these huge battles where so much shit happens twice now, and it's gonna happen a third time because it's gonna happen in the third game too, right? It
Of course. Yeah.
kind of devalues the whole the pathos of it all.
You know what they could
I
do? You know, it'd be kind of wild if they
No,
did
I
this.
completely agree.
You know what they could do?
What is it?
Like just to throw a wrench and everything. They could like in the opening minutes of Final Fantasy VII. Or what's this one
Uh-huh.
called?
Whatever. We don't know.
Whatever. Who gives a
We don't
shit?
know.
Anyway, at the very beginning of the game, you have to kill Sephiroth. That's that like the actual Sephiroth. But then what happens is the what do you call them? The things that fly around like crazy.
Wisps.
I forget about the lore as much as I wish it. Yeah, you just see them start flying around,
Mhm.
and like you just messed up the timeline because you killed Sephiroth early, and
Too early. Yeah.
that's the whole premise of the third game is like now you're trying to rewrite history. Like I don't know, it
Uh,
has gotten a bit crazy. It's almost like Kingdom
he,
Hearts heavy, you know?
yeah, and yeah, I don't know. I like everything that the remake trilogy is doing except that because you know what? Because they don't explain it because there's no explanation for it. The explanation for it is that people want to see Sephiroth because he's so popular. That's the explanation. So
Hmm.
just throw him everywhere. Yeah, I mean, I don't want it to be like the original, but just to give you an idea, in the original, you really don't even see Sephiroth until you get out of Midgard.
Yeah, yeah, I knew that much.
Yeah, he's just this very mysterious force, you know, and everybody talks about him like he's a legend almost. And when you actually get to see him, you're like, oh shit, oh fuck. Like here, he might as well be a party member. I mean, you see him that often,
Hmm.
that But while we're at it, actually, I like, and we could talk about Lost Soul Sai, but we could also talk about that ending. I mean, I would just wanna know what you think. I wanna have this discussion with you.
Uh,
Rebirth ending.
so let's see. When did I finish it? I think I finished it like maybe a month ago. Maybe I can't. Dude, time is going by so quick because I feel like I
It's
just
weird.
finished it. But then again, I think it's been about a month or so. Because I was playing Kingdom Come Deliverance for a while there. Anyway,
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I was pretty hype about it. I like the whole Zach stuff. I was wondering where they were going with that, and I'm still fuzzy on the timelines. Like I'm a little fuzzy on that.
Yeah.
What I'm so this is what I'm understanding. The whole reason why Zach and Cloud were even able to like communicate, especially at the end when you pretty much fight as both of them, which I thought was sick. I love that. I thought that was
Hmm.
awesome. Is like Zach's timeline happens. So it's like another universe almost thing. It's like a multiverse
No,
type thing, right?
no, it's definitely a multiverse because there, Aerith and Cloud and gang are like all fucked up, right?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, so that's when you
While
see
Zach's,
Tifa in the stretcher, right? You see them going into
yeah,
the yeah.
yeah, and Zach survives,
Hmm.
while actually Zach dies really
Right,
before the game even starts.
right.
So it's definitely like a different timeline.
Yeah. So like when because like when you're Cloud fighting Sephiroth over here, then you're Zach fighting. Are you fighting
Also
Sephiroth?
Sephiroth.
Is Sephiroth over there too? Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Because Sephiroth's face is all close up. You actually have to hit him in the face, right? Is that the
Mm-hmm.
fight?
Mm-hmm.
Where like
That's the one.
or you stun him and then he brings his face closer and then you just
I
start
don't
hacking.
remember exactly, but you do hack him in the face.
Yeah, does he die right there? Does Zach die right there too?
Okay, no, what I understood, how I understood it, is that that whole timeline disappears and everybody in it dies. Because before the fight or during the fight, I don't remember at this point, you have this section when you're Cloud and you're having like a date with Aerith in the slums,
Right.
in
Yep.
sector 5, I believe.
Yeah,
And
and
she's talking
she's telling him to like act normal and like because she
because
knows
this is
something's
the
up.
last time,
Yeah.
because this is the last time they'll ever get to be like this, right? So I feel like this is not just her knowing that she's gonna die. This is her knowing that, and everybody's saying that the world is going to end. Even what is her name, Almyra,
Hmm.
Aerith's adopted mom. Even
Hmm.
she goes, "Well, it's pleased to believe the world's gonna end." Um, and and you know, and the sky's all gloomy. So I feel like the world just ended there because that's like the bad ending,
Hmm.
and they were living it.
Right.
So and Zack from the bad ending universe, he I guess as a final sign, as a final sign of resistance, he helped Cloud in the not fucked up timeline beat Sephiroth.
Okay.
Yeah, it's how else am I supposed to interpret this,
No. I
right?
mean,
That's
no. You're doing fine. It's just that was the part that was like wasn't completely clicking with me because I'm like, why the hell is this dude here? But I also kind of makes sense.
well,
I know it's a different universe. So does
well,
that mean that the original Final Fantasy VII like world is out there somewhere, right? The original
yeah, I
timeline.
guess that's like the canonic timeline. Speaking like in Spider-Verse terms, that that's the world where all the what are they called? Canonic events. What do they call them?
Oh, you're talking about like from
The
yeah,
like the
yeah,
Spider-Verse thing. What do they call
yeah.
them?
An anomaly.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So everything we see is a bunch of anomalies because they're going off script from FF7, the one that
Right.
came out in 1997.
Right. So that's why
But
like there's certain instances like with the Final Fantasy VII interlude where you play as Yuffie and
uh-huh.
when you try to go into the bar, Tifa's bar, the seven,
Okay.
what is it called? Something
Seventh
seven.
Heaven.
Yeah.
Seventh Heaven.
When you try to go over there, you see a bunch of the wisp block the door. They actually push you away from it. Like you're not supposed to go in there and meet them right away. So I wonder in the third game if they're gonna really put focus on the original timeline. Because that'd be kind of
Well,
sick. That's kind of cool.
here's the thing. Okay, so as much as what I did, I tried to make the most sense out of it. There's still a lot of holes in this theory because didn't the because yeah, the Whispers are like the guardians of the timeline, as stupid as that. concept is, didn't they all die at the end of remake?
Then they do what?
Didn't they? Didn't they all die at the end of remake? At the end of remake, you fight
Oh.
like the big Papa Wisp or whatever, and you kill him.
Right.
And right? I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
am I missing something? And then in Rebirth, they just show up again, and the main cast they're like surprised for a while, but they're not really questioned. Like, oh well. And now there's like good wisps and evil wisps, and the evil
Yeah.
wisps are Adam Sephiroth. By the way, who the fuck is Sephiroth in this remake trilogy? Because like in the original game, all right, he's very powerful because he finds out that he was born from Genova cells, right?
Hmm.
And he feels like the planet belongs to him, and the humans usurp the planet, and he wants to kill all the humans. He launches Meteor to pretty much wipe out all life on Earth, so he could rule it with his mommy or whatever. In this game, he's like he's even more of a god because he exists in all timelines at the same time
Yeah.
because you are fighting the same Sephiroth in both timelines as Zack and Clown, and he's aware of all the timelines. He even says like after he kills Ares, which is another thing we gotta talk about. Um, he goes, and so it begins, a confluence of worlds and emotions. It's a very cool line, but what the fuck does it mean? Why
Right.
are the what do you mean a confluence of worlds? Are the timelines merging? In
Hmm.
what way? See, it's just
Yeah. No, that's a good.
yeah.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, it's maybe a little because honestly, I think what excites me most about Rebirth is like the things we're talking about now. I think excite me more than the actual game, like the potential.
Mm-hmm.
If I can even understand it all, and who, I mean,
Right.
it's a lot going on. Or maybe I'm a little bit more of a simpleton, but the thing is, like, I think the what it could be like we say the word potential a lot, but like
Mm-hmm.
maybe I'm so tired of the multiverse, but maybe like in the
Same.
in the third game, maybe we'll have to face off against different versions of Sephiroth. That would be kind of
I
cool.
see that. I guess. I mean,
Right,
I mean,
in theory it doesn't sound too crazy.
like
Oh,
here's the
maybe you
thing.
got to team up with Cloud from a different multiverse, a different
I
universe, excuse
imagine
me.
that that would be one multiverse too much. I feel like I'm okay with the trilogy going multiversey. That would be too much. If I go
I
seeing like
understand.
fucking
I
yeah,
get
that'd
it.
be and also different Sephiroths. I would agree. I would agree if only, as I said before, Sephiroth seems to exist at the same time everywhere.
Hmm.
In each timeline, it's always the same Sephiroth. Whereas this, it seems like that, right? He's like timeline skipping or whatever. Just
Maybe he's like Venom. He's like a hive mind. Maybe like every Sephiroth
ooh,
has like the same
you're
personality
right.
and knows and learns from the other.
You're right. Actually, that's so right. And that's kind of what the clones are. Because here's the thing. Here's where the remake story beats kind of get confused with the original story beats. Because Sephiroth did have clones in the original story, like all the Black Capes. They were
Hmm.
like failed experiments. And and they are kind of like a hive mind, they keep going reunion because they want to reunite with Sephiroth, right? And all the other clones. But now what you're saying is right. Maybe all the other Sephiroths from other times are also want to reunite. So
Wait a minute. So like, what is the because like the whole all right, so that is the name of the third one. I think it is called Reunion, the third part of the remake
that
trilogy.
would make sense. Yeah.
So like because what is who's the guy who works for Shinra who keeps coming after Cloud and he's on a motorcycle? What's his name? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh God.
He ends up
Yeah, I know what you're
dying.
talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not even in the original game.
Roche, I think is what it's
Yeah,
talking about.
Roche. Yes, Roche. Yes.
Like he ends up becoming like one of the black hooded figures and saying like,
No, no clue. No clue what the fuck that's about. I really don't know what's happening there.
and apparently it's something to do with like Hojo because I don't ever understand
Oh
what the
no,
hell
wait,
Hojo's
I do
doing.
know. I do know. No, 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 no. So the idea is that he's a soldier, right? Soldier that's in all caps.
Hmm.
Um, and so he's been pumped up with with Mako energy, and that's kind of what happens to you when you get when you overdose on Mako, you become one of the Black Capes.
Hmm.
And yeah, I don't remember that being. in the original, though I am not. I don't have like a major in the in the original story, so it's not, I'm not like an authority. I don't remember that I remember the Black Capes are just failed experiments, are failed Sephiroth.
Oh, they do have like numbers on their arm or something,
Yeah,
don't they?
exactly, yeah.
Oh. Is that explained in the duology so far? Maybe I missed it. That might be my bad.
I think don't they? Like, there's a part when they are in Bear's village. I forgot what it's called. The one where they keep shitting on him
Mhm.
because he whatever. They go to like a doctor that Tifa knows, and
Mhm.
he's like running some tests on a Black Hood guy.
Yeah, right.
They do, yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah. I know what you're
yeah,
talking about. Yeah, okay. And that would make a lot of sense. And that's why they're always headed in the direction of where Sephiroth is. And they
exactly.
go,
Yeah,
"Oh,
that's the
we got to
hive
follow
mind.
this. We got to follow these guys because they'll lead us
They'll
to
take us to
Sephiroth."
Sephiroth. Yep.
That makes sense. Okay, I don't know why I never put that two and two together, but um I know you want to go to Aerith's death, but
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you, I so because I didn't play the original, so there is some context I'm missing, but I knew about the death. I
of
was
course.
surprised to see where they were going to go with that. I didn't know if they were actually going to do it.
Hmm.
So she's actually dead, right?
I think
Far as we
so. I
far as we
think so.
know,
I
right?
think so. I think so. I
Okay.
think so. Because I understand the confusion because she shows up after she dies. I think so. You know that I don't think I'm spoiling you if I tell you that Cloud is insane, right?
Hmm. Right. Yeah.
He's like clinically, like it's not even me saying it. He's actually disassociated from reality in every possible way.
Hmm.
His entire background is hogwash. It's not real.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that so what happens when she dies, it's really weird because it seems like Cloud prevents the attack
Hmm.
that would have killed her, but then she dies anyway.
Hmm.
But then she opens her eyes and she's like speaking to Cloud, saying, "Yeah, Cloud, it's all right." But then we get like a lot of static, and when we get the static, usually even in the remake, that was sign of Cloud kind of going going a bit losing it.
Hmm.
So I think what's happening is that Cloud is this wasn't original, but I guess Cloud is so far gone that he refuses to accept that she's dead.
Hmm.
I think that's happening. And in the end, we do see her, but Cloud seems to be the only one who's
Yeah.
interacting with her.
Well, that's what I was wondering. Like, is it like maybe like her life force is still on the planet, or is he just hallucinating? Because, like you say, like this guy has obviously got plenty of issues, and
Yeah.
he's not even his own person. So like we don't know what's real and what's not. And I knew that something's up with her. Either she's dead or she's like in a spirit realm. Maybe she's in a in between kind of place, kind of thing, like a
Hmm.
purgatory type thing. But maybe she could still communicate with Cloud, or maybe at the end of the day, Cloud just has an attachment to her than more than he thought. I guess you know.
That could be. Because we
Um,
do see when she opens her eyes again, we have like little green particles that indicate the Mako energy, like the live stream or whatever. So that could also be it. I'm not saying that's not happening. Some
yeah.
people are also thinking that like the multiple timelines have something to do with it, and that's my problem with the whole scene because I feel like okay, again, I don't want it to be I get just like the original, right? But at least put some respect to this scene, right?
Mhm.
This scene that was so iconic. Like as you said, everybody knows Aerith dies, and people who don't even know what Final Fantasy is, they know Aerith dies. It's like not knowing that Darth Vader is Luke's father, right? Like
Mhm.
that big of a plot twist. And when I actually got there in Rebirth, I was too confused to feel anything else,
Mhm.
right? I don't know. And also we're missing part of Cloud's speech. After Aerith dies, Cloud gives this huge speech, right? When he's trying to deal with her death, and that's kind of cut. But I don't know if you cut onto this, but after she dies, when his mind starts getting fuzzy, you can see his mouth moving, but hear no words.
Mhm.
So I feel like he just blocked out the moment, and maybe in the third game we'll actually see the scene how that's my hope. in the
Yeah.
third game we'll see the scene how it actually played out.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope so too, and maybe connect some dots because
Yeah,
yeah, right now
this is
yeah,
crazy.
there's
Yeah.
a lot going on. But so and then then obviously with him, he does have the black materia. Nobody
Yes.
knows that Cloud has it, right? Is that what I'm understanding?
Oh yeah, Cloud has the black material. What's up with that?
What does he pick? He picks it up. When does he pick it up? Is it like I'm trying to
So
think how he even picks
so
it up. I don't remember.
so you, I mean, they get the black material from the Table of the Ancients, of
Hmm.
course, right? Then he gives it to Sephiroth.
Hmm. Right.
Like there's this whole part, and that's same as in the original. And with the black and so Ares says, okay, now the situation is getting dire. I need to get the white materia, right? She shows off for a bit, and then the gang find her at the City of the Ancients. She's praying, trying to get the white materia, and uh, and that's when Sephiroth kills her.
Hmm.
Uh, Speaking of which, just remember something else. Do you remember when they were in Costa del Sol? Aerith talks about the white materia. She has it with her, but she says that it's empty. Do you remember that?
Not specifically, but
There's a scene like that. Like she has, oh yeah, this material. Even in remake, back in remake,
hmm.
she talks about it. She says, oh yeah, I have material too. My mother gave it to me, but it's no good. Like it
Oh
doesn't do
yeah,
anything.
yeah, that's right. Yeah. Hmm.
So I don't know. I don't know what that implies. Honestly, I don't know if she was praying so it could to restore it. I don't.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm like rambling at this point. Sorry, I can see you all confused, but I'm just as
No,
confused
no,
as
no.
you are.
I was just trying to go back to what that scene, but I mean, as regarding the black
The
materia,
black materia, right?
it
He
I'm under
has it at the
what I'm
end.
understanding is nobody knows he had it, and then he infuses it into his Buster Sword. Now I don't know where
Oh,
that's
you're
going.
right. You're right. Well, I mean, okay, I don't think that's too deep. I think that's just to let us know he has it, right?
Okay.
Because like we know like weapons and
How do you
accessories in
know?
the
How
story
do?
can.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I'm stupid.
What?
I was wondering I was like, how did he know that was gonna work? Just putting the material on the sword. But I'm like, you're
We've been doing that
stupid.
the
We've
whole
been doing it the
game,
whole
yeah.
game. Just it doesn't have this
Yeah.
cool animation with it.
Animation.
I got you. I'm dumb. Sorry.
So yeah, I don't think that's too deep, but I don't understand why he has it though, because that's what Sephiroth uses to call the meteor. So I don't know
Imagine if you get some abilities where you can use that, like use the
the
black
meteor.
materia. Well, maybe not meteor, but maybe the black materia
Oh,
has other things, like other
oh,
capabilities with it. You know what I mean?
oh, maybe it goes like Spider-Man 3 when have like a dark side and all. That would
I don't
be.
think you really need that with Cloud, man. He's a psychopath as it is.
All right.
I'm
Well,
just
maybe
saying,
he
like
taps
maybe.
he taps into it, is what I mean, right?
Oh yeah, maybe gives
Uh,
into it way more, and maybe you got
yeah,
to fight him or a little. So, but then that'd be kind of corny. 'Cause I've seen that
a
done so
bit.
many times at this
and
point.
and it wouldn't be really that would be like a huge betrayal of the whole Final Fantasy VII story too.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it would be. It would be.
I mean
But
him straight up almost killing Tifa was damn.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
I really like the darker, especially. I will say when I go back and play it, I think I'm gonna take your advice because I think it was I think it's me, you, and Russ talking about it, and we were talking about one of the things that really drove me away from playing it was I got too overwhelmed with all the. I was trying to really like complete each area because I was flabbergasted at first, man. I was like, holy crap, like each region was it looks so cool and there's so many things to explore, but then I just started to get like run out, like I just didn't want to
Hmm.
keep doing it. But I think the next time I play it, I'm not saying I won't do any side content, but I think I'm gonna do mostly main story stuff, I think. Now
Hmm.
I got to figure out the best way to do that because I think I was talking to you personally about it, and maybe anybody watching or watches later or whatever might know, but I don't think that's like a full on new game plus. I think it's like you
Hmm.
start from the first mission and you change your difficulty, and then you go back to that, and then you play as long as you want to after that. I think
Yeah,
that's how it
so
goes. You know what I mean?
yeah, so I did play it, and it's the same as in remake. Yeah, so you pretty much get chapter select.
Okay.
So, and you can start from the first chapter. You can choose whichever difficulty you want every time you start a new chapter. I mean, in theory, that's what I did. I started from chapter one and played all the way through it again. You can play it like that. Like it doesn't. abruptly end when you get to an end of the chapter. The game just goes on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
so
whatever
it
chapter
is
you
it is
select, it just keeps going.
so it is kind of like a new game plus.
Okay. I
Yeah.
got you. Well, I'll definitely do that next time because I really would like to see the story and play it again because it is a fun game and I love the combat
Hmm.
system so much. Um, and to get like mastery with other characters, like
Hmm.
I love even though I don't really care for the characters much, but Yuffie's combat is awesome. And
Hmm.
but my mains was Cloud, Barret, and Tifa. I love Barret because he could shoot from a distance, but then I would switch Aerith out for Barret, like probably every other battle or so. And I just got really good and I synchronized well with most of the characters. So just to see the combat again and play through it, I want to do that. But just so I can get the full story and don't feel like I'm plagued to have to do a certain number of side quests
You
and look
know,
for stuff, just play the game,
when you restart like a chapter, you get to choose whether to reset the side content or keep it at the progress you already have.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, you definitely.
Oh, well, that makes it even better then. I don't feel like I
Yep.
have to.
No, you
And
don't.
and definitely those first 3 areas, I did 100% everything. But then after that, I start to kind of, yeah, it's getting a bit much. So that's
Oh man,
awesome. That's
Cosmo Canyon is. Ugh,
yeah.
uh,
Cosmic Canyon, and then what's the heavily wooded?
Gongaga.
Yeah, the traveling around that was trash.
No, yeah, that was.
But
I
anyway,
remember. Yeah.
oh, no,
Anyway,
no, no,
yeah.
no, 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 no. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just trying to go
I,
back to what we were talking about.
yeah, I don't even know. No, I was just gonna shit on Gongaga some more. We don't need the negativity here.
Yeah, it is, man. The trap. Look, we won't go super far into because we have talked about this before. But yeah, the traveling in that area is it's man, it's bad. It's not good,
It's a shame because it's a beautiful area.
dude. It's awesome. And like on the PS5 Pro, not to like advertise for that, but
Brag,
I
but
will say the the game looks magnificent on the Pro. There is an upgrade there. There
I've
is.
seen the footage. I've seen it's the only game from what I've seen. I'm like, okay,
That's a real
if I had
upgrade.
the money, I would. But yeah, I can see it. Like I don't even need to like look for it. It's
Yeah.
clear as day.
I will say, Doom Eternal does look slightly better on the Pro than it
Mm.
does on the Xbox, but I mean that could just be, I don't know.
I
It
mean,
could
it
just
is
be,
the pro, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, you would hope it would, but I mean, as of right now, yeah. I mean, again, not to bring negativity, but let's be honest, dude. This is probably one. It's probably the weakest generation that we've had, period, with the
Mm.
PS5. But the Pro, I mean, yeah, I still honestly, as someone who has it, and I only got it because I wanted the special edition, but as I'm telling you, the upgrade is just not. It's just not warranted right now. There's just
Yeah.
nothing that's really pushing the boundary. There's games that I'm excited to see with pro enhancements, but at the same time, dude, Alan Wake 2 looks like garbage on PS5 Pro. Honestly, it looks
Damn.
better on the base. Now you can play the base version of the game on Pro. Thank goodness for
Mm.
that. Like like they have the PSSR, the pisser tech that they love to hype up so much. Dude, it's a shame how much it really like fucks up the quality of the game, like the
Have
visual
you
fidelity.
seen Silent Hill 2? Like maybe they patched it since then,
I
but
haven't
Silent
I
Hill
haven't
2
touched it.
was
I haven't
dude.
touched it because I love that game so much, and I'm not trying to have that just shit on because I've heard about that too. I want to download it to see for myself,
I mean,
but
I hope that I can imagine that they patched it since now because it's been 3 months, right,
mhm.
since the Pro landed. So maybe.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'll download it tonight and I'll personally mess you later and let you know how it is because I've been
All
looking
right.
for an excuse to go back to it. I just after I finished it and I just needed a break, man. That game is so deep and Jan will tell you guys like I send Jan like at least a couple times a week. I follow this like Twitter page on the Deadhead Podcast X page, be sure to follow us there, by the way. But I
Mm-hmm.
follow an account there that goes like the deep dives and like the small little things.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say some of the stuff is very interesting, very, very interesting about like James's psyche and what's real and what's not, and stuff about Maria and the other characters that surround that story. And there's not many of them, but everything is truly fascinating. And I know Jan's an OG, played the original. I have not, but man, I am super invested into like the Silent Hill.
Mm-hmm.
to lore, and I'm finding things new out every day. Like I'm excited to see what's more to be seen because I'm. It sounds like it's shit everywhere in that game. It's just little nuances and sounds and like the sound is what like just the music, the sound design in general makes that
Top
game
notch.
damn near like perfect to me. I love the sound because there's subtle things you wouldn't hear if you're just walking down a hallway. But if you really get up close to a door that's locked, you'll hear some heavy breathing. You'll hear, you know, different things go on, and
Yeah,
you're like, what's going on? Like, is some sexual going on there? What is it?
yeah,
But then you dive deeper and you look, and it's some pretty disturbing
yeah,
shit when you think
yeah.
about it.
There's a room in Toluca prison, I believe, that you can hear chanting in it, like in one of the cells, and it has like I believe the seal of Metatron and other like cult related symbols all around it, which kind of ties into the other games. It's really nice
Yeah,
how much detail we got here.
dude, so
I
much
wouldn't
detail.
mind them remaking some of the other games. Maybe Silent Hill
I
One.
actually
You know,
just
maybe.
saw. I actually just saw that Konami is supposed to be working with Blooper to bring another project, and
Oh
they
boy.
didn't say Silent Hill, but
I
they're
mean, what else is
definitely
gonna be, right?
looking at it to be Silent Hill. So, if it's anything like two, which it won't be, uh, two
Yeah,
was
no.
super. I'm in love with that game.
Yeah, two is in its own league, but I believe the other ones have their merit.
Hmm.
They can be very enjoyable.
Well, good. Well, I'm a fan. I'm ready to.
Hmm.
I'll definitely check them out. Just like with you, with Resident Evil, you never played those, and you start playing them. I'm
Yep.
super psyched, and I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know if I have a lot of time to go back and play the old ones, but especially if they get remade or continuations, I'll definitely
Or
play
if they
them.
just get ported, because
Oh
honestly,
yeah, I'd be
as
fun with
we are
that.
right
Yeah,
now, we don't have like modern ports of many of the older games. Not none of the games that came out like since 2012 or
yeah.
before.
Yeah,
So,
Xbox has like the backwards compatible, but
oh, that's
yeah, like
true.
some of them are pretty. Like
Ooh,
Homecoming is pretty is okay. I played that one a little bit, but yeah, like
well,
the original Silent like Silent Hill and
the
Silent Hill
first
Two.
four ones,
Yeah.
no, I mean, you have like the HD collection, which you want to, stay as much as away from as possible.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, that's what I hear. But anyway, Lost Soul
Let's
Arise.
toss aside, right?
Uh,
Aside.
that looks great. Yeah, and that's to go back to that. I think it looks very I don't know. I was gonna say the word innovative because I feel like Expedition 33 is more innovative than that, but I was gonna say it doesn't look innovative, but at the same time, you can't deny the combat. Everything
No, it
looks
looks
amazing.
unique.
So
I feel like they really have something unique here. It really does. I mean, again, until we play, we can't really say for sure if all the things we see is just, flair,
yeah,
if it's just a bunch of fluff, or if it's something substantial.
yeah.
But
It,
it does pique my interest.
Either way, it looks good. I've already pre-ordered it, and
Same here, dude.
we definitely got to take some time to at least talk about it some on the show. It's just with everything, with all the games coming out, man. I
Hmm.
don't know. We're gonna have to be real selective on. Okay, we're trying to talk
Well, I
about
feel
this
like,
one. We play this one. That's how
well, I
it's
feel
gonna be.
like, well, you know what, dude? As I've seen it, they're actually lined up for us because end of March, Kazan. End of April, Expedition 33. End of May, Lost Soul Aside. I mean, that gives us like 3 weeks a
Hmm.
piece, and I
Hmm.
feel like we can work with that.
Yeah, I think the last Kazan will be. I don't even think that's a super long game, honestly, because it's like it's
Probably not.
kind of like Souls like, but not really. It's more like honestly, like I've played I played the demo and
Hmm.
it plays very to me at first it gave me very Souls vibes to it, but then
Hmm.
honestly the combat opens up a little bit more and it kind of gives me more God of War
I
type
was gonna
vibes.
say the same
It
thing.
kind of
Yeah,
gives me God of War.
it's full on action, like no RPG elements, right? It's full on.
Let's see, is it? I don't remember. Dude, I've played so many games the past
Yeah,
few weeks.
I mean,
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think there's a lot. I don't think there's a lot of customization. If I had to think, like I don't
mhm.
believe that. Well, there is. Like you can change your pieces of armor. I know you can do that.
Okay, but that
Um,
modern God of War has that too.
that's right. That's right.
Like,
Yeah,
fairness.
yeah. Um, I don't know if there's like runes or anything like rune abilities. I'm not 100% on that. But it does give me God of War, like new age God of War vibes. So uh, we'll definitely talk about that one because the demo is sick. It's a Yeah, it's fun. I'm excited for it, and I got it pre-ordered. And like I was telling Jan, I want to grow my disc collection again because I was getting a lot of
Mm-hmm.
stuff digital. So I'm excited that I pre-ordered a lot of the games we're talking about on disc. So I'm really excited about that. Um,
Awesome.
what's another one you got?
Well, I think that's it. I mean, I have okay. There's this one, but it's more of a me thing.
That's fine.
It's called Neva. Have you heard of it?
I've never
Uh,
heard of it.
Never heard of it. No, I mean, honestly, I don't even know like what it is. It's made by this one studio who back in 2017 or 18 made
Hmm.
another game called Grease or Gree, whatever it's called. It's one of those indie, very stylized games that I like. They're very short. They're like a 2D side scroller, and they're more like what do they call them? Cozy games. So you
Yeah.
play them when you just wanna, you listen to the nice music, you see the nice visuals. There's like some story that's being narrated to you without dialogue. It's getting a physical. It already came out, I believe, like by the end of last year, but it's getting a physical release. So
Hmm.
nab that.
Of course.
And yeah, of course. And with that one, I actually managed to get the deluxe one with the art book and the soundtrack. That's like the things like that a collector's edition needs for me, right? Like
Hmm.
all these like figures and I don't know stickers, whatever. Honestly, I stopped buying those or even still books. At this point, I prefer the standard. But you give me like physical soundtrack and an art book, you got me.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Uh,
yeah, you can't go wrong
hmm
with any of those. I've always liked the look of steelbooks.
hmm
Just like how they look in the background and stuff. They're really nice. I
I
just
mean,
don't keep a lot
I
of them in my display.
I had a steelbook phase. I mean, I have a decent amount of them. I grew out of it. I feel like.
Nope, there's nothing wrong there.
No, no, definitely.
Yeah, no, that sounds great. I have one that you probably wouldn't expected me to really be interested in, and I
Okay.
still don't know. I might buy it, but since I've bought everything else, I might wait for a sale. But there's a game that got announced at the State of Play, and I'm actually looking at it right now. It's called the Midnight Walk. Does that sound familiar to you?
Ooh, yes, yes. That's the one made in like claymation, in like clay
Yeah,
animation.
I think that looks so unique and cool. Like it just looks
Well,
like a
just
Tim Burton movie almost. You know,
you know what the thing
Coraline
is?
action.
Yeah, definitely,
Excuse me.
definitely. That man, Coraline. Wait, they like showed it again. They had like another screening for the anniversary like a few months back.
Hmm.
Anyhow, I liked it. You know what? The Midnight Block, I liked it better when I thought it was like a side scroller
Right.
or like a platformer.
Hmm.
But from this new trailer, it looks like it's in first person.
Yeah.
So now I'm not sure anymore.
Right.
Like I
You
want
know,
to get it because it's so
yeah,
unique, but
I'm with you because like first, and this is someone who's playing Doom Eternal and gonna play
hmm
Doom: The Dark Ages. I'm not a huge first person guy as much as I used to be. Like it used to not bother me, but now I'm like I'm more of a definitely strictly third person. There's most time if I'm gonna play a
hmm
game, but it just looks so unique and it looks creepy and it
it
looks very
does.
Coraline esque and like. And I, by the way, I know Coraline's not Tim Burton. By the way, I'm just saying like that type of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
the
yeah.
same like claymation type thing. Um, I'm really interested in it. Will I buy it day one? I don't know,
Probably not.
but it would be interesting. Maybe especially um, if we can get to October, maybe that'd be kind of a fun one to look into during October because it looks
Creepy game,
creepy.
yeah.
Yeah, it looks wild and it's something I want to keep my eyes out on. Is what I'm saying. It comes out
No,
in May as well, so I'm not gonna be able to touch it because I got too much shit
uh,
coming out. But just something maybe to look into. I think that'd be good
no,
to look at.
definitely. No, definitely. I mean, I can definitely imagine myself buying it. Just remembering it as it exists as I'm like scrolling over a bunch of like used games in a game store and
Hmm.
picking it up.
Yeah. And you already know one I'm gonna say, and that's Metal Gear Solid, Snake Eater.
Delta.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
That
like,
coming out in October, I think is what it said.
yeah, October. Thank God. Like I thought we were gonna say May again. Uh,
Yeah, dude,
but
I couldn't do May, dude. It's not gonna happen, But I'm checking it out now. I think it said October.
No, it is. Either that or September.
No, August actually. So it is a little earlier. My
August.
bad.
Ugh. Well, okay, whatever. Um, you know what? I guess I'm gonna get it. I just, you know what the thing is? I did play Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, and I definitely see the merit. I'm just not super into it. Like Metal Gear Solid, it's like so frustrating to me because it's one of those franchises that I really want to like, but I don't think I'm gonna give it another shot. I'm definitely
Hmm.
gonna. I want to play like all the ones that I haven't played, like, 1, 2, 4. But it's like it's this very like highly technical
Hmm.
gameplay. Um, that's kind of, I don't know. Maybe I'm too much of a normie for that.
Right.
It- it's a one layer too deep.
Right.
I feel like same thing with Death Stranding. By the way, Death Stranding too. I'm definitely that
Oh yeah.
that we are picking up. I mean, come on.
Of course. Of course. Yeah. I mean, that's day one. I will pre-order
That
that
is
one.
day one. I agree. I
Um.
agree.
Yeah. No. I'm just honestly, dude. So I mean, I think we've talked about this. I've never been huge into Metal Gear, not because I don't have interest in it. I just like I think I played. I think I played one of them on the PS1 years ago, and I was way too young to really
Well,
really
the only
enjoy it.
one on PS1 is the first one.
Okay, well then that must be the one. Then
Hmm
I think it was just a demo disc too. I don't even think it was like the
hmm
full length game. So, um, it was okay, but I was more like Crash Bandicoot at the time and Spyro
hmm
and things like that. I just wasn't really as into that. So, uh, but I've seen gameplay of the Snake Eater, like the original Snake Eater,
hmm
and then I know this one is beloved to a lot of people. I don't know why. I don't know if the story is like
Oh yeah.
something revolutionary or what, but
Well, I'm gonna tell you, like I mean, all of the Metal Gear Solid games have like very cool narratives. The thing with 3 Snake here is that it's like a prequel to all of them, so it's very easy to understand.
oh,
Like you
okay.
don't need to. I think that's why people like them so much.
Oh, okay,
Like
I
that
got
one
you. Well,
specifically.
honestly,
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. So honestly, you saying that it makes me want to buy it even more because that was the one thing I
hmm
will say. Like, uh, everything I've seen of it. Look, honestly, I'm gonna say something though, man. I haven't seen anything that's really blown me away in like any of the
Same.
gameplay and stuff so far. Like it looks good, looks like third person action. I like that kind of stuff, but it looks like it's. I put that on the. This sounds terrible, dude, but I put that on the same level as another game that looks good. I think comes out like May or summertime of this year, and that's called Mind's Eye. Did you see the trailer of that?
Oh, I probably did, but I'm forgetting about it
So
now.
it
Mind's
kind of
Eye.
looks like I don't want to say a GTA clone because I feel like that's very disrespectful, but it kind of has that same kind of vibe to it. It's kind of futuristic. It's kind of like 50 years futuristic from our current time right now, and it's third person, and you play as kind of like I don't know if he's like a detective or some kind of like special force, something like that, and it kind of looks like GTA to me. But when you look
I see it.
the combat
Uh-huh.
they've shown, it looks like third person action, and then you drive. That's what it looks like to me. And
Oh man.
not that it won't be good. Like it might be pretty good, but I kind of put that on the same level as like Metal Gear. Like Metal Gear to me, unless I'm like that infatuated in the story, which I very well could be. I'm like I could eat my words in August and find out Metal Gear Solid 3 is like the best story I've ever witnessed. But I kind of put that on the same level as Mind's Eye. Mind's Eye looks good, Metal Gear Solid looks good, but so far I'm not seeing anything that's really like wowed me from both. You know what I'm saying? Like there's no real set
You
pieces
know,
that's
yeah, I get it. The way you perceive it, they're on the same. I understand what you mean.
Mhm.
Like outside of their significance and all of that.
Right.
Sure. I mean, Manzai doesn't really actually have a release date, it seems.
I thought I heard him say sometime this summer, but maybe not. Maybe it'll be a
But
little while before that comes out.
hmm yeah, but I do remember.
It
I do
says
remember
launch,
seeing
yeah,
stuff
launch this
around.
summer. Yeah, this summer on PS5, but it doesn't have like official release date. So,
Okay. Yeah.
but yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I put it on the same level when it comes to like what it has to offer. Obviously, Snake
hmm
Eater probably has the better story. Probably, I don't know. Then again, we don't know.
It's a
Um,
cool story. It's a cool story. I'll tell you. It's well, I don't know what else to say. It's cool.
I was like,
I mean, it's also it gets emotional there. It's but it's kind of B movie esque, but in the best way possible. In the way
okay,
that Resident Evil games are B movie esque.
Oh, I got you.
But but I feel like Metal Gear Solid does have a bit more flair, a bit more style. Like some scenes are just Hollywood worthy.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, like I said, I'll probably end up getting it, but I would definitely like to see a little bit more gameplay, maybe like a cutscene or so. Which I know the cutscenes are going to be long as hell in those games, so I don't know how much they're really going to be able to show. But
well, in three they're not as long. I'll tell you that. Like they're only like 5 minutes tops, which for Metal
dude.
Gears is like
Yeah, right. Well, that I'll be honest with you,
Mhm.
man. That's never really been a problem for me. The thing that's harder here lately, and it's funny because I told the wife, and I told the wife this earlier. Like it's kind of harder to play a story based game now because I'm always hearing a baby in the background, or like my
Mhm.
wife
Yeah.
talking to her or talking to me with something she sees on her phone or something. It's a lot harder to be like immersed into a game when I have all this other stuff
Yep.
going on in the background. So
Oh,
like
I got that.
you know, like I might even have to at some point might even have to move where I play games. I might have to just maybe start playing games mostly back here or something. Which I hate being back here because I'm kind of isolated, and I like being able to go over and kiss the wife and go get some coffee, and I'm right there at the coffee maker. Go grab it, bring it back to the table, pick up my controller and play. But it's just at a point where it's like, man, like I'm trying. I'm like especially games that are like I'm like no, I'm ready to like
Locked in. Yeah.
I know I keep talking about Doom. It's just because it's hot right now for me right now. But I hear that Doom, the Dark Ages, has way more focus on cinematic. It's more of a cinematic experience. It's gonna have a
Which is
lot more voice
interesting for a Doom
acting.
game.
Yeah, it's gonna have different characters you're gonna come into contact with and stuff. And like I'm kind of like, man, like that kind of excites me. Like I kind of want to see how this plays out. And I just know I'll be hearing, yeah, da da
Mhm.
da da, yeah. And I love
Yeah.
hearing that. My daughter is the cutest girl in the world, most beautiful thing I've ever seen. So I love hearing that. But at the same time, it's like, bro, like I'm trying to focus. Like when Expedition 33 comes out, obviously I should have started with that, not Doom. Expedition 33, that's gonna have a super strong narrative focus. Like I don't want any interruptions. Like shut up. You know what I mean? This is the game that I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to. When I get excited about games, I think about Expedition 33. I think about Doom, The Dark Ages. I think about Mafia, Old Country. I think about the first
GTA
Kazan.
6.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm not as
Those are good.
excited. I'm not as excited
Oh
for it,
man.
if I'm being honest with you. Like dude, it's day one. I'm gonna buy it, but it's like I'm not as excited about it because one, we've been waiting so long for it, and the other thing is I don't know. I feel like there's other games I'm just looking more forward to right now. But then maybe around that time of the year, there's not a whole lot. I mean, because I don't know what's coming out the back half of the year, like anything of real like
Hmm.
gravitas that makes me that excited to play it. I'm sure there's some
I get it.
stuff, but I don't know, but either way, like to anybody sitting here saying that this year doesn't have games, let me
I
tell
don't.
you, friend, you got to have a bigger palette than what you're playing because
Yeah.
there's plenty of shit to play, dude, between RPGs, first person shooters, freaking narrative driven experiences. There's so many games out there. Like dude, am I wrong? There's so much variety
No,
with
it's
different
crazy.
games.
No, it really is. It's insane.
2025 is shaping up to be a great year for games, like period. And like if you're not, then like I said, look, I need that reality check too. That's why I started playing Kingdom Come Deliverance because even though I didn't finish the game, it still like made me want to like get out of my comfort zone and play other things. Like I would have never went back to Doom. I would have never went back to Doom. Like I wouldn't have. I'm not. I'm like, I like blood and guts, but when there's not really like much of a story, I don't really care as much. But then when I started playing it and I started reading like all the documents, like I pick up and understanding more of the story, and then seeing more gameplay for Doom: The Dark Ages and things like that. Like it really started like making me really like get excited about just games in general. And man, this year is looking super stacked, man. I'm really excited to see what this year brings, man. And there's a bunch of games we don't know about either. And then there's games that don't have a release date, but they should be coming out this year. So I mean, dude, it just and then the Outer Worlds. I forgot about the Outer Worlds, man. The Outer Worlds 2 drops this year.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I
Borderlands
forgot about
4
that.
Borderlands 4 comes out this year. Holy crap. Yeah, dude, it's
Insane.
it's nuts, man. Like real quick, let me go back to the list real fast. I know we talked about a lot of them, But I mean, yeah, Borderlands 4, Days Gone remastered. I'm gonna buy the $10 upgrade because I already own the game, so I gotta try it.
Hmm.
Let's see. Hell is Us. Hell is Us looks
Elzas
good.
looks interesting. Yeah, as stupid as the title is, yeah, it's
Yeah, yeah, okay, that might be a little dumb, but that comes out in September, so I mean that's a little bit of time before that comes out.
no, definitely. And I think that like after May, like during the summer,
Hmm.
we can like we can like how do you say, program ahead,
Yeah,
because now we got we have like our schedule up until May, June.
yeah.
Yeah.
What real quick before we get ready to close it on out, what do you think about Soros? That was the announcement at
Oh,
the
the
end
day
of.
one. Day one. I love Returnal. I love Returnal. I love it. I love everything about it. And Saros seems like the next step.
Yeah.
I might not like it as much as Returnal because I like so much about its identity, and I obviously want them to do something a bit different. I just want another Returnal. But from what I've seen, it's just it's
I need to try Returnal again.
Returnal.
I need to try that again because I
You
got
didn't
like.
like it?
Yeah, I don't. I just. Well, here's the thing. I played it before the newest patch came because there's like a patch in an hour. Like when you get to a certain point in the game, it'll kind of save it right there, right? Like it's
Hmm.
not like
Yeah. I definitely played it after the patch.
okay,
I feel because I mean I got the PS5 a bit later, and that's when I got through all those games, those
okay,
launch games.
because that was the one thing that was keeping me from it. Like I don't hate games where like if you die you go to the very beginning again. I don't hate those, but at the same time, like again, go back to what I was just saying. I just don't have a lot of time to play. So if I
Well,
die and I go all the way back to the beginning, I don't care about the beginning of the level. Beginning of the freaking game, I'm just not into that.
no, no. Well, I can tell you right now that I mean it is a roguelike in that sense,
Yeah.
but no, there are like checkpoints, so to speak.
Hmm.
I mean, so yeah, I don't have to worry about that. It's very, how did I say this? I feel like a hardcore roguelike fan would like, uh, dismiss the roguelike label on this game.
Right.
It's very approachable in that sense, and I don't know. I think it's a lot of fun, and like the way the entire mechanic of going back is woven into the narrative.
Hmm.
I just love it. And the combat is fantastic. I mean, the shooting in that game and the upgrades and the whole, risk and reward thing. You get like, some upgrades, but at certain cost. I love it. I
Hmm.
love it. You're making me want to play it
Well, that's all I was
again.
about to
Just
say.
talking about it.
You're
Yeah.
making me want to download it and just like just toy around with it a little bit because I'm playing Doom Eternal and I want to finish that
Hmm.
and the DLCs, so I'm ready to go for the Dark Ages when it comes out in May. But yeah, no, definitely now I'm probably going to download it
Hmm.
because,
Nice.
but yeah, man, dude, like again, not to sound like a broken record, but 2025 is going to be a great year. I think it's going to be a great year for the Deadhead podcast. I think it's gonna be a great year for games. I mean, we got plenty to talk about. Like
Definitely.
we don't have
Definitely.
any shortage of shit to talk about between first impressions, final thoughts, even pre-thoughts before a game we're really looking forward to. I mean, Expedition 33, good God, man, we could talk about that shit for hours on what
Oh,
we hope to be is in the game. You know what I mean? Like
I'd say, yeah.
I'm telling you, man, it's man, I don't get how people can say it's not a great year. You got to open your palate, and it's so much
I don't
shit
get
coming
how
out.
people say that gaming is dead. Those guys. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, look for a while there. I'll be honest. I don't think I was just having fun with games in general. You know, I wasn't saying that, but I was just like, yeah, just not really have as much fun as I used to. But dude, there's so much out there, and
Hmm.
it's gonna be a good year. I'm really excited, and everything we've mentioned, pretty much everything with the obsession of I've never heard of Neva. I'm not saying I'm against it, but with the exception of that one that you mentioned, pretty much everything you mentioned, I'm definitely gonna check out sooner or later. Even Night Rain, I'll check it out.
Even Goat Simulator Remastered.
I don't know, man. I might not check that one out. Tell you what, if let me send me some gameplay, and then we'll go from
Okay,
there.
sure.
Maybe I'll check it out.
Okay, all right.
Or if you want to be a pal, you can gift it to me if you want.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you like it enough, I'm not gonna gift it to you if you're not gonna play it.
I mean, it depends. Maybe it's immersive. Maybe I'll like being a goat.
I don't think you know what kind of game it is, and I can't believe you don't know. It was like all over YouTube 10 years ago.
Nah, I don't know much. Those simulators in general, like I've never really been into it. Like the grass cutting one, like the lawnmower simulator or
Well, I
whatever.
mean,
Like,
this is kind. I mean, I'm gonna send you some gameplay because it's pretty much the
okay,
anti that kind. Yeah,
yeah, definitely do that. Yeah, well, I think that's all we really got for this one, man. These 2 hours went by really, really fast.
I
Um,
agree.
yeah, I mean, be sure to let us know what you're looking forward to, guys. Everybody watching, let us know what your 25 is looking like when it comes to games, man. Because I think we have a
Hmm.
good mix of all different types of games that we're excited to talk about on the show. And maybe I can even get Jan if he gets to a stopping place. Maybe he can pick up and get some Carnage candy and Doom the Dark Ages, so we can talk about that some. I'm sure I'll talk about
Maybe.
it
Who
some, like
knows?
a little bit, um, but I don't want to talk about it in full until I know that I got somebody else that can give me some good feedback because I hate it when one of us like our Spider-Man review, like you finished Spider-Man 2 in like a weekend and I was only like
I
5 hours in. I was like, shit, man, it's hard to
remember
talk
that.
about this damn game.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, Jan, you got anything for the people before we close out the show?
It's just it's good to be back. Wh- What else to say?
I've always missed that short and sweet and to the point. I like that. Yeah. No, honestly, that's the best way to close it out, man. It feels good to be back, and I really appreciate everybody who checked out the show and who's going to check it out later. We'll try to do a little bit more advertising on the show. Apple Podcasts, we're trying to upload every episode of the podcast to Apple Podcasts. I was having an issue where it was not letting me access the episodes. I think we got it fixed. I'll have to go back and check it after we get off the show and let everybody know. But definitely check us out on there. Be sure to add us on all the socials. We have X, we got Instagram, we have our Facebook fan page. So definitely check us out there. And yeah, we'll have more shows coming in the future. We got plenty of things to talk about, and it feels good to be back on here talking with my buddy and just talking about nerd shit. I need this. So I think I'm real glad that we were able to pull this out and then come back strong with a good show. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Really appreciate it. And with that being said, and it feels weird to still say it, but stay dead, my friends.
Stay dead.